everybody. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to put my hand in front of the camera. Ooh, running behind, but I made it. Let's see here. Hey, Lisa Colovi, thank you for being here. Thank all y'all for being here. Hey there, Alfonso. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Gwen Broke Cowgirl. Hope you're doing well. I assume you guys can hear. Yep, you can hear and see me. Good. Whew. It's been a week on the homestead. My word. Not one thing, it's another. You know how, well, happy Friday, first of all. I was running late, I forgot that. But man, I tell you, there's not one thing, it's another. We have gone from really, really warm days in the 80s to cold. We had 60 to 70 mile an hour gusty winds today, which was insane. And it felt like it was in the 30s. Yeah, we've been a road runner and we've been a poop show. That's how we keep things family friendly here. Oh, there's my alarm telling me that I need to be live. um yeah, just crazy busy and all that. And then we took a turn from being so warm to so cold. We can't get any birds out of the brooders that are ready. So we've got 4 brooders in the garage. My point of this is, they talk about things being on Instagram. They talk about, Instagram versus reality. Here's the reality of this week. We went from hot to cold. The pheasants are dropping like flies. They can't have any bedding. Hey, Annette the Cow Emporium, good to see you. We were just talking about, Instagram versus reality, and that it's been a poop show here this week. So we went from hot to warm, like I said, and the pheasants started dropping like flies. The first night they were under the heating plate like we used the last time, and they're fragile. They do drop like flies the first week, sadly. And last time we used the brooder plate, we still had a ton of loss. And this time we bought a lot extra, figuring in for loss. And I think we're almost down to where we were a couple years ago. So they can't have shavings the first week because they'll eat them and not eat food or drink water. So we had stuff in there, and I scrape the poop off every day and all that stuff. And lo and behold, we put the brooder plate in there the first night, and none of them came out to eat or drink, and we lost some. We then put the heat lamp, one of the Premier One heat lamps. They are fussy little munchkins. They totally are. No wonder why they get picked off in the wild. Well, we're literally at the point we can't lower the lamp anymore, or we're going to have a fire. And I'm not doing that. I'm not risking it. It's bad enough we're using lamps because we got so many brooders going. We do everything we can to be careful, but they're a reality. And so we have the brooder lamp so low. So today I've decided they're going to get bedding because they're a week old, and we're going to see how it goes. So right now they have a heat lamp, a heater plate, bedding underneath the heater plate, and all the food and water. And they go from looking fabulous to dead. And what happens is when they get cold, they huddle and they smother each other. So hopefully now they won't do that. I think we've lost, at this point, I don't even know. I think we lost 7, maybe 8. Hey, Ariella, good to see you. the past 2 days, not today, we've just been on the road dealing with stuff we had to do and run, 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 run. And of course, one of the days we came back and Grant and Norman were not where they belonged. They were in their area, but not in their area. I'm sorry. They broke through the electric fence because the stupid solar charger must not be holding the charge again. They're, I'm not, Annette, I don't know if they're half the size of a chicken chick, but they're definitely smaller than a chicken chick. Teeny little buggers. I don't know that they're half though. But yeah, they're fascinating birds and they're growing and they're crazy. They're flitting around the thing already. And we have them in a draft-free brooder. Yeah, about 3/4. 3/4. Hey, Spartman, yeah, chilly evening tonight for sure. Mind you, then we have the turkeys. We have 10 turkeys in a less than ideal brooder. It's literally like a quail or a rabbit cage that we got from an auction that we made into a brooder because we suddenly had all these birds and didn't have enough brooders. Not ideal. We will do something different next year, but we made it work with what we had. And the turkeys are just fine. Turkeys are just fine. Knock on wood. for this week. And I literally keep the garage door closed and so nobody's getting drafts and all that. When you walk in my garage, it stinks so bad because of the meat birds, and we just changed out their brooders again, the bedding. So they're 3 weeks and they'll be 4 weeks this Thursday, and I cannot wait to get them out because they stink. They've reached the disgusting part of their journey in the brooder, and ugh. Hey, Rochelle. Yeah, just practicing my math. That's funny. Quail eggs weigh 0.5 of an ounce, so they're teeny tiny. Yeah, they are. No, I didn't know they were having one. So let's see what else was going on. So we had escaped pigs. We've got to work on the fence. We still didn't get a chance to do that. Because we think we're gonna have to hardwire it in. So again, going with the theme of, Instagram versus reality. What else? Oh, we've got the broody hen in the backyard, day 16. I didn't see her the past 2 days because I left food for her and water. And when she came out, we weren't home because we were on the road. She came out this morning. She's still doing good. We have my chickens who have attempted to murder my Spitzhauben. So yeah, it's been a fun week. I'm about ready to call. I'm going to keep a close eye when I integrate her, and I may call the bullies because I'm just, that bird does not deserve that. I don't know. Maybe she's ill and I don't know it. Chickens are stoic. They never show you if they're ill, but she looks pretty darn good. I don't see anything wrong with her except for the hole they put in her from pecking at the back of her head. But thankfully she looks good today. She's just crazy being in that coop by herself, I'll tell you. So yeah, homesteading is fun. It's a poop show. It's a poop show this week. How are you guys doing? What's new with y'all? Good news is my neighbor came home. He had had a stroke, and so he's back home today, finally, after a month and a half, which is really nice. And my friend's husband, who fell and was in that bad state, he did come home, and I saw him yesterday, and he looks amazing, amazing. getting around, walking with a walker. So the two of them, thankfully, are doing well. Cold and Wet by Spartman. Wow. Yeah, cold here, not so much wet, but cold. In fact, I think it was Maud Hagen Cattle. They're over near the Badlands grass area in Caputa. And they were saying that the weather was cruel because they've been really dry too. And they were showing, they were here where my fist is, and they were showing the rain all around them towards the eastern part of the state. Hot by Broke Cowgirl. That's Texas. In good news, there's a freeze warning in the northwest part of ND tonight. Oh wow, yeah, I bet. I'm looking forward for the warm up mainly because I got to get these Cornish cross and Dakota whites out of the brooders. Hey, Uncle Al, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. In good news, or I mean, I got to pick something positive. In fact, Gwen, that's exactly what I was going to say. My socks are coming along. Mistakes and all. Mistakes were made. I refuse to give up. I refuse to stop. I don't care anything about it. But they're coming along beautifully, I feel. I've learned so much from this process because I'm knitting 2 socks in the round. I've ended up with extra stitches. I got it back down to the right amount of stitches. I now have extra stitches again. Not sure how that happened. But I also, they're socks. So I'll show you. Do I have a picture? I think so. So I'm hoping the next set will go well, but it's taken forever. So that is what my socks look like so far. And this has taken me like a month. No, not steadily knitting as I can. So they look really good. And that is the right one. And then I have the left one because it's variegated colored yarn. So that'll be cool. So right now it's just getting up to the part where you start to prepare for a heel. So I'm not there yet. I've got several inches to go. And when I do 4 rows, we're talking, that's 4 rows of progress. It's not much because it's very thin yarn, but I'm excited to do it. I think the next time I will do a thicker yarn. So that way it'll be a lot faster. Yes, thank you, Lisa Colovi. Did anybody get any new critters this week? I know Gwen had some quail hatch. I don't know if anybody else did. How about you, Spartman? You get any new animals? Nice, Ariella. That's awesome. Yeah, Lisa, they will be the best socks I've ever worn. You want to know why? Because I'll have made them. Mistakes and all is always a good thing for me. Nothing new with Spartman. Looking for some goslings. What are you looking for? What kind of goslings? Because I know Running's had a bunch. So far, can only find goslings down by Sioux Falls area or over by Rapid. So they had goslings when we were at Runnings last Friday. And people were, we waited 3 hours in line, Spartman, to get turkeys and pheasants. The Runnings and Tractor Supply have nothing for goslings. So maddening. Uncle Al's on probation. What did you do, Uncle Al? Rumor has it we may be getting pigs. Don't know when, though. Ooh, that'll be exciting, Gwen. Probation until August 10th. You've been bad or something? I just want my plants out of the house. I just want birds out of the brooders. The turkeys and the pheasants are fine in the brooders. They're not disgusting. It's just the meat birds. They're on that high protein feed and they're 3 weeks old and they're doing what they do, which is eat and poop all day long. We often get new animals at this house far too often. Oh, Ariel, I'm sorry. The turkeys are so sweet to have, though. I've missed having turkeys. I haven't had a chance to look more into the breed, but that we have, but I don't know. I think we're just really gonna. I think we're only just gonna butcher them all and look for a heritage breed next time. I really need to get my OnlyFans going so I can afford gas to pay for birds. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Birds are expensive. I could not believe that they had call ducks in runnings, and they were one was $31.99. One bird was $31.99. Another bird was $42. And I was like, why are they so expensive? So apparently, I don't know how true this is. I've never raised call ducks. But apparently, they have very low hatch rates. So that's why the price is high. I'll never have call ducks unless someone gives them to me. A bit hard to hatch. Okay, yeah, yep. Yesterday I noticed Dovey had lost her 2 bottom teeth, and last night Tootie was playing with her squeaky toy. 2 top teeth gone. Aww. Alfonso lives on an HOA, therefore can't have chickens or farm animals in her backyard. No, and apparently you can't even go on your walks, right? I just hope you're not having that problem anymore. That's crazy. Tomorrow I'm going through a brunch sip and paint. So that'll be interesting. We're going to have mimosas and a breakfast casserole. And we're going to be painting. We're supposed to be painting on her deck. Don't think that's going to happen because it's going to be cold. Quail don't have great hatch rates either. No idea why, really. That's weird. I didn't know that. Yeah, it'll be fun in that. I think there's going to be 6 of us at my friend's house, so that'll be fun. However, I feel like pissing off the HOA by putting a discreet speaker in our backyard and play farm animal sounds in the morning. Careful, you don't want to get kicked out. But yeah, I totally feel that. There's a channel here all about call ducks. I think it's called Tiny Ducks. Cool. The Feathered Acres, she's been hatching call ducks for years. She's not like she's a big farm or anything. She just loves call ducks, and she buys hatching eggs, hatches them out, and I guess has some tips and tricks for what works. I really do want ducklings, but I need to find a way to keep them like this big with their little web feet and their little bills. There's nothing as cute as a little duckling. And then I look at the brooder and I'm just disgusted. There's a theme here tonight. Brooders. I do love ducks. We did have them, and ducks I find them fun. I think they're interesting. I don't need the eggs. I don't need to sell the eggs because they're going to be filthy. Just not something I want to take on. The only time we will have ducks is if we raise ducks for meat. I know, Alfonso. This is so crazy. You're going hog hunting tonight, Gwen? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Have fun. That'd be great. Ryan put in for our elk tag. So You know, he's been putting in since 2019, and we haven't gotten one yet, so not optimistic this year. All of my ducks seem to just pop a squat and shoot eggs anywhere they want. Yeah, that's my reasoning. I'm like, nah. I ended up having drakes. We had 5 predators, got 3 of them, and then we ended up with 2 drakes. No season on hogs. Yeah, I believe it is a wild hog hunt. Found one at the bottom of the pool when I drained it the other day. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, you have to eradicate those things because they are so destructive in the South. Oh, wow, I didn't know you had them there, Annette. Thankfully, they're not near you. Thankfully, they're not near you. They're so destructive. In fact, there is a Kune breeder in Texas, not Halbert Farm, another person I follow on Instagram. She had she had a litter of piglets, and she was devastated. She was devastated because she thought one of the wild boars bred one of her sows. And turns out that was not the case. She had what they call agouti coloring, but the striping looks similar to a wild boar. So she got so upset about it. Of course not, Alfonso. Of course I would not. Yeah, the boars are nasty. They stink. The sows and piglets are awesome eating. Nice. Yeah, I couldn't imagine having to deal with them. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. From what I understand, they stink. I don't know if it's like goat bucks when they're during mating season or if it's all year long, but I've heard that they stink. Probably from Gwen. But we have not gotten anything out of the garden yet, except for lettuce. Because it's just cold. It's just cold. We're having several nights under freezing, under 32. It was in the 40s today, but with the winds howling, it felt like 32, 33. So yeah, because they're intact. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's just crazy. So right now I've got that chicken who was attacked is in the other coop, which stinks because that was the coop I was going to put the broody one with her babies. And if the timing was right, I was going to try to put the baby turkeys in there too. So we'll have to figure things out. Hey, Rebecca, Suburban Hillbilly, good to see you. Gary mowed the yard yesterday. A chopped up head end of a copperhead. Ugh. Darn things are out. Gross. Oh, I heard the funniest story yesterday. I have not heard this since I'm living here, but I heard someone was telling me this yesterday. We were down at the VA visiting my neighbor, and somebody who was with us who was visiting said that people apparently call the sheriff's deputies to report tourists putting their hands or their faces down prairie dog holes. It's like, Are people that crazy? Oh my gosh. They were saying that people put their faces and their hands on those holes. And number one, I mean, there could be rattlers in there because they're on the the plains, the prairies. Hantavirus, hello. Black widow spiders, like, what is wrong with you? I thought it was hilarious because we were having a good laugh about the bison. Prairie dog peeping. I mean, those prairie dogs are downright disease ridden and disgusting, and people stop and look at them, and I'm like, whatever. Yeah, common sense is no longer that common, and people are downright off their rockers. But we were laughing because, like, every time we drive through the park, you see somebody walking out towards the bison, and it's like, please, like, it's almost like you want to pull over and watch. It's terrible. I admit it. It's not nice. I admit it. Survival of the fittest right there. Exactly. The stink house. They may get a badger in their face here. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's rats out there. Do not go by the angry cattle. Yeah. They also try to pet the free range cattle. And, free range cattle are not handled often. And we're a fence out state for a reason. Like, you have to fence them out or they will destroy your buildings. Here, I'm upset about the opossum I had in the backyard yesterday. I barked at him out the window. Some people couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Exactly. Exactly. Gwen says we do have badgers here. I haven't ever seen one, though. More likely it would be an armadillo in a hole. Oh, yeah, those things. Oh, a possum can make a mess. Yeah. It's just crazy. It amazes me. I don't know what possesses people to put their face down a prairie dog hole. I don't even like going under my house. In fact, I've refused. Lord knows what's under there. Like Ron White said, stupid is forever. No kidding. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I watch people all the time and they start walking out in the plains and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, Gwen, because I've never heard about them doing it. And of course, by the time the deputy gets out there and he's like, no tourists, they're gone. They probably got their pictures already. Not to mention the coyotes are hanging like right there looking for lunch. But I saw somebody posted on Facebook the other day that they said to the person who passed me on the Wildlife Loop Road, which is in Custer State Park, I just wanted and had the two bison fighting and sat there and watched while they set the car up on two wheels. The bison were fighting. The person didn't go around them to get out of the way, and it set the car up on two wheels and it came back down because they got into battling, crazy. I watched some guy walk barefoot out towards the bison one day, and I told Ryan to pull over because I said, I got to see this. Nothing happened, but he didn't go as close. But, oh, at least, Annette, I think I've heard of some in up to $2,000 in pounds. They are massive, massive. And, I was honest. I shared with the people we were talking with, and I was like, they come by the car, and I really, really have a hard time restraining myself. I know not to do it and I won't do it, but they're so close. I just want to touch them. But I don't. Why? Because I could get killed if he reacts to me touching him. What did you do on vacation? I sniffed a prairie dog hole. It was amazing. Yeah, bulls would be bigger. Yep. And it's funny because they do all this stuff during the rut or during calving season. And I get that not everybody knows, and I'm trying to be open-minded, but there are signs everywhere that say bison are dangerous. Do not approach. Like normally we'll go by when they're salt licking. They're salt licking on the vehicle because the park doesn't allow salt, so they salt lick off the vehicle. But I'm also keenly aware that if I touch the little head and then they react to it, they could send our car over the edge. So I don't touch them. I really, really want to. I admit it. Wow, 2,800 pounds. Oof. Yeah. Well, I use my brain because I value my life. Apparently, they're really bad. The tourists are really bad out in Yellowstone. I hear stories all the time. Oh, what did Rochelle do? I gotta look here. I thought she said something. Not that hole. Yeah, do not pet the fluffy cows. It's a bad idea. Some animals are acclimatized to people, but not in all situations. Yellowstone is crazy. Exactly. These are wild animals. So especially in Custer State Park, they are rounded up once a year. So they do get handled. But again, they're like, I don't want to say they're like free range cattle, but they kind of are in the sense that they're wild and they roam around and they get their shots and they get worked once a year. And then they're let go. That's what they do with the bison, right? Because they round up the bison and the calves. They do the tagging, the counting, and they work them like you do branding day and all that stuff, right? That's what the end of September is for. And they get them ready for the auction in November. And that's really cool. Wind Cave National Park, I've never heard of them doing anything. I don't know, Sparkman, if you know that. You know what I mean? But these are wild animals. Even free range cattle are handled by their people for at least half the year. Thank you. Thank you, Annette, for saying that, because I'm not as familiar with free range cattle, except that they are pretty wild around here. But I get your point. Yeah, I'm not sure either, Sparkman. I don't think they do because I think like we don't see as many calves there. We don't see of course the way Wind Cave is designed, you have to go on the back roads to find them. But I don't know if they get worked or anything. I know Custer does, and Custer does it because they have the auction, and it's a pretty desirable bloodline from what I understand, or several bloodlines. Again, I don't raise bison, don't know. But that's what I've heard people say, so don't dream of spinning that hair into yarn. Yeah, exactly. Why did you touch the big angry cow, Lisa? It was so fluffy. Yeah, I know better. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know, but they're massive. They're massive. They're beautiful. It's a funny time of the year for them because the bison are shedding all their winter fur. And it's funny because you see the birds on them picking bugs and the fur and taking off. Our cattle have to live with grizzlies during their summer months, so they are super protective once they calve. It can make it interesting at home, but we understand it. That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. And that Sparman said, I've had enough fun with plain old cattle. I really don't need to deal with angry cattle. Right, right. Yep. I think calving has wrapped up here for the most part, or at least in this area. And I see that they're all not as close as they once were. The cow-calf pairs are sent out already. So that's kind of cool. It's funny because, you just watch the progression of things around here and the cows get so big. It's pretty interesting. What do you guys have planned for this weekend? Ours deal with coyotes, bobcats, panthers, and mountain lions. Yep. 4 left to calve. Very cool. Very exciting, Annette. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Another calving season under your belt. Gwen, are yours done calving? Gwen says church garage sale in the morning, then off to get feed. Fun. I've got the sip and paint Saturday. We've got to get the fencing done and get the charger out there. Probably hardwire a charger in because they're very hairy pigs. And if they don't get like their snout or their skin, they don't get zapped. So Gwen says, yes, they calve November to January. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Annette says, I hope it rains all weekend so I can smoke meat and have some adult bevies. Nice. I hope it rains all weekend for you too. Going to mess with the lawnmower again, and hopefully I can get that stupid thing running properly. Yeah, that's a pain, Spartman. I think Sunday, I don't... I may make curtains for my laundry room. A friend of mine went to this place called the Storehouse in town, and somebody donated a bunch of fabric. One of the fabric patterns reminded me of a men's button-down shirt from the 50s, like Mad Men. They've got them funky designs on it, and I was looking where I could use it. I think I have enough to make a shorter set of curtains for there, which would make my life easier because the ones I have are a little long and drag on the floor and make me crazy when I vacuum. Alfonso said I had a teacher in 8th grade who got kicked by a cow at New Mexico State University farm because she was harassing the cows. Well, it sounds like she shouldn't have been harassing the cows, eh? I hope she's okay. I don't never wish harm on anyone, but Suburban Hillbilly said hopefully Hands and Back will cooperate enough to finish the green stalks. That's all I can do this year for gardening. Do you have a chair out there if you need to plant the green stalks individually and then have somebody stack them for you? Just take your time doing it. You're still out there. Tie the curtains into a knot when you vacuum. That's a good idea. I know, but the new ones would be so much prettier. I'll get to them when I can. I mean, it's just not the end of the world, but I think it would let a little more light in, still provide the privacy, because that does face the road and it has a toilet in that room. So we need a little privacy. Oh, good, Suburban Hillbilly. But yeah, that's a good idea. It's just enough to drag on the floor, like this much. But I definitely think it was the one I posted on Instagram. I definitely think the new pattern would be really, really pretty. And I could open it and close them better. The other ones I don't. We just close. We use the fact that they drag on the floor and just push them out of the way. Good for you, Ariella. Congrats. Trying to think what else. That's about it. Probably knitting too. But on the 21st is when I will start looking for babies under the chicken under the back of our house. So I really hope she hatches a few because I may be culling bullies. Oh, how fun. Have fun, Rochelle. That'll be so great. Absolutely, Suburban Hillbilly. I'll keep the old curtains because I've had them and used them in other houses, and I just keep them in case we need to cover glass for whatever reason, like if it's cold and stuff. Hey Heather, good to see you, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. So it's just a really pretty fabric and it goes with the wall, and I think it would look really, really nice. So I gotta close this out with a rant. I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna rant. Um, so I was looking at these reels in my feed on Instagram, and I saw this person showing a reel of butchering day for chickens. And I'm trying to say it nicely. I'm not worried about offending anyone. I'm more worried about me getting out of control. um, the person put the chicken's head under their foot and pulled their feet upwards, which then removed the chicken's head. And I realize some people did that many years ago. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I just felt for all the people who say they don't like commercial farming because it's inhumane and all this stuff, and this person literally showed a video while they were smiling and ripping a chicken's head off. And I just thought to myself, that is so inhumane and unnecessary to do. Get a knife and remove the chicken's head and cull the chicken like you should. Right, Annette, right. Like, I know they use scissors for quail. I've heard of that. But I just thought to myself, that kind of goes against the whole homesteading movement. And I just thought, why? Put the chicken in a cone, cut the chicken's head off, and process your chicken. Like, there's just no need. So, needless to say, I unfollowed. But it just, I can't wrap my brain around it. I can't wrap my brain around it. And it's similar to, I had a rant on Instagram last week about a famous YouTuber who took a chicken with bumblefoot and tossed it over to his pigs. And I'm not going to get into that whole thing here, but I can tell you, I will not be doing that. There's no way. They are way too attached for that. So you think it's not possible? I sent you the video in it. I wanted to. I sent it to you and another friend and said, "Can you please tell me if you saw what I saw?" So, exactly. Why would they even share that they could do that? Makes me crazy. It's not possible. Exactly. And it was just like the same thing with the chicken with the bumblefoot infection, whether it's an isolated infection and you can cut the foot off or not. There are numerous reasons I am not feeding a dead chicken to my pigs. It's just not something I'm going to do. And I'm not going to get into the argument about that. There's a whole list of reasons why you don't feed that stuff to pigs. It's actually illegal in some states. So, do you ever name your chickens, or are you worried about the conscience knowing who you are eating after they pass on? We name everyone. Chickens not as much, but I have to be honest, that's because I have a ton of black ones that look alike. I have a ton of white ones that look alike. I have a ton of barnyard mixes that look alike. That's why I don't name them. We named our meat pigs. And I will tell you, Alfonso, every time I sit down to a pork dinner, we say, "Thank you, Waylon. Thank you for feeding us, and thank you for this amazing pork." Sounds ridiculous, but we believe in naming them. Because the bottom line is, whether they're 230, pig 231, pig XXX, or Waylon and Willie or whatever, I only have a couple here. I don't have a herd. I just have a couple. So they're always going to be, there's always going to be a different attachment for me to the pigs. My meat chickens, I don't name them because they all look alike. I usually collectively call them the chicken nuggets. If I could tell them apart, I'd friggin' name them. I would. Yeah, it's too many names. That's really more the thing. I name a few, and they're usually the ones who stand out. Like we've got Lucy, who is gray, and she's the only one. That's a Lavender Orpington. You can tell her apart. We have we call Bess the broody breasts in the back there. You know, but we really don't. Yeah, we're not worried about naming them. That type of thing is why vegans are so militant obnoxious. Yeah, and I mean, and they can do whatever their belief is, that's their thing. It's when they get nasty and obnoxious on my content, don't follow me. That's it. Just don't follow me. Moms have their names and Otis can't remember. I have Raven because she looks like a raven. Yeah. We've got other names and stuff. It's just crazy. Heck, I had to buy a book of baby names after I fostered lots of dogs. I bet you did. I bet you did. Yeah, I just think so anyway, that was my rant. I just don't think stuff like that is necessary. I don't think it's necessary to show it, and I don't think it's necessary to do it. So that's my rants. Don't feed dead bumble-footed chicken to your pigs, and don't try to pull a chicken's head off with your foot. Use a knife and a cone. Be humane. Do the right thing. I still have the book and two of the dogs. I bet you do. Rebecca, when is your husband's procedure coming up? It's in the summer, isn't it? I think did I miss anyone else's plans for the weekend? Yeah, it is brutal, Ariella, and disgusting. You guys, disgusting. August. Okay, good. Okay. I'm just trying to keep it in my head that it's August. Cool. Well, I just wanted to catch up with you guys tonight. Nothing big. Just tell you, reality on the homestead. It's been a poop show this week, and this too shall pass. And we'll get through, and things will change next week, and either it'll be bad or it'll be good. It's out of our control, right? We do what we can, and we take it from there. But you'll always see reality here. Oh, that will be interesting. He's going to be out of town most of June. Heather's going to be digging more soil out of the secret garden. I'm going to get it done. You go, girl. You go, girl. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful weekend because you're all beautiful people. I'm going to let you guys go. I got to get up early and get everybody fed and then head out for this 10 o'clock sip and paint, which is a little early for me. Good thing we're only having mimosas. But have a great weekend, and I hope it's warm where you are, and take care. Thanks for being here. Bye, guys.